welcome to the September issue of the News of the Rack Monthly. Also later this month, this time for health reasons. And again, I put here the last issue, so number 15 in. The last month brought us again many great modules, many of them again from new module developers. VCV Rack is growing and growing, and for me it is always amazing to see what ideas the developers come up with. Of course, many modules are also inspired by hardware, but there are also many modules that have no hardware equivalent. This ensures that VCV Rack and Eurorack complement each other great, because the possibilities of VCV Rack go far beyond the possibilities of hardware, just by the fact that in VCV Rack one can also use any number of the same modules. But clearly, the feel of hardware is irreplaceable. That's why I think it's absolutely great that in addition to the synthesizer market, the module market continues to flourish, and there are always fresh ideas here as well. In the 90s, I had the impression that workstations are the end of development, but the use of old classics in electronic music and the renaissance of modular systems thanks to Dieter Döpfer have paved the way for a long way to go. And VCV Rack developed an aspect that no one dared to dream of. If somebody had told me what was possible today, I would have thought him a dream dancer. And now we all dance this dream, and our dance has just begun. And now to the news. New modules. Simply Prototype is called a new module of VCV, with which one can create own VCV modules by JavaScript. Other programming languages should follow. It has already been redesigned with version 1.1.1, making it faster and more efficient. VCV has once again released a new premium module. Chords is called quad-note chord sequencer and generates a 4-note chord from a single volt per octave signal. A demo video shows the exact functionality, and with version 1.0.1 it has already received an update. The module can be purchased for $20 via the plugin manager. Glue the Giant deals intensively with the topic of effects or effects routing. The 8 modules are responsible for various tasks. The modules are Mini Bus Mixer, School Bus Mixer, Bus Route, Bus Depot, Enter Bus, and Exit Bus. In version 1.0.1, Gig Bus, a simple mixer strip, and Metrobus, which can distribute a polyphonic signal in the stereo spectrum, were added. The modules are designed to show possible effects routings. Vitamin modules release the modules Vitamin B, an effect bypass, and Vitamin P, a panner. DopeFed has taken the modules of Strum's Mental and converted 3 of them with improvements to V1. These are Switched Adder, Switched Mux, and Switched Matrix, which now all have multiple modes. In the meantime, the original developer has now converted all his modules to V1. At these, nothing was changed compared to the original versions. However, the DopeFed variants differ in details. The modules of Racket Science are not yet available in the plugin manager, but can be compiled by yourself. Vector Victor calls itself Phased CV Recorder, and Boogie Bay is a module for animating input jacks. The developer YM2612 can be found in the plugin manager under the name of his module chord controller. This produces from a volt per octave signal up to 6-tone chords. Liveform Modular enters a whole series of modules right away. The plugin consists of the modules Time Dictate, Sequence Modeler, Pitch Dictate, Pitch Integrator, Burst Integrator, Quad Modulator, Impulse Control, Quad Stepped Offset, Percussive Vibration, Quad Utility, and Additive Vibration. A description of the modules is not yet available, but demo videos and the patches can also be downloaded. Even stock audio is not content with one module and brings with its modules some color to the rack. Polytouring is a polyphonic touring machine. Mansec and BTNsec are polyphonic sequencers. Polyclock is a polyphonic clock multiplier divider. Polydelay is a polyphonic version of VCV's fundamental delay. Polyspread is a polyphonic sum and stereo module. Polyslew is a polyphonic variant of the Befaco slew limiter. All modules also have an expander function. More details on the GitHub page of the developer. The Rainbow module from Prism Amalgamated Harmonics is not new, but the design by Pierre is. New is also an expander called Spectrum that generates scales for Rainbow. Squinky Labs has heard our plea. Granted, I was also pretty pushy in the livestream of Omri Cone. The result is X2, a 2-channel stereo expander for the modular mixer form. Also, this has 2 aux ways and can be used together with a 4-channel mono expander. Also new is the polyphonic sequencer SEQ++, which offers a DAW-like piano roll and can also load MIDI files. In addition to this, but also for other applications, a polygate is also offered. As always with Squinky Labs, these modules are also very economical in CPU consumption. NIST is back with version 1.0.4 with 5 new modules and numerous improvements. Sussudio, Musical Box and Musical Box 2 are all multi-sample players with numerous options. LFO Multiphase 2 is the same as the previous LFO Multiphase, but offers different phases, and Gate Trig Merger is a merge module for gate or trigger signals. SV Modular extends its commercial plugin Synthetic with a Paddington pad synthesizer. With version 1.2.0 came as the fourth complete synthesizer, even Alchemy. All modules are semi-modular, i.e. pre-assembled, but can still be integrated into a modular setup. Aura Music has not only been busy with product maintenance with version 1.0.3, but also released the Bucket Brigade delay Flux. JW modules patterns is difficult to classify. In the plugin browser you can find it under the tags sequencer and clock modulator, but that's just a rough description, so I recommend to read about it on the developer's GitHub page and experiment. In version 1.0.9, optimizations were also made to the modules. Probably note, by Frozen Wasteland has been given a chord option with a chord expander and also a brother named Bowen Pierce. This has the same basic functions, but uses the 13-tone Bowen Pierce scale. Also, Seeds of Change now has a CV expander and a gate expander. After several updates, Frozen Wasteland has now reached version 1.9.7. With Unless modules, another old acquaintance came back. Apart from the already known modules Plong and Mr. Chainkov, there is now also the rotating octa-switch Atoms. Terza Braizo released version 1.0.0 of the module CV2612, an emulation of the YM2612 chip of the Sega Genesis. The VCV Rack version is free, and soon a hardware variant for the Eurorack will be released. Chart Desert has also released 2 new modules in version 1.1.0, the attenuator Tyne and the compressor K. Vult has not only made improvements to its modules with version 1.4.0, but also released the oscillator Vultari. This emulates an Atari Punk console, APC. RJ Modules has released 2 new modules in version 1.1.0. Trigger Switch is a trigger-activated gate switch, and Dry Wet is a voltage-controlled fader for blending dry and wet signals. Lindenberg Research released with version 1.1.0 Sangster, a CV-controllable bucket brigade delay. As usual from Lindenberg Research, it sounds great and there are many skins for it. Developer news and other news. VCV has released version 1.1.5 of Rack, with which the text structure in the module browser has again changed. All news can be read in the changelog. Also, the VCV recorder was optimized with version 1.0.1 and thus its performance for both audio and video. VCV has released a sneak peek which will soon see the modules Variegate, 8+ and Voltage Block by Maleco, as well as Grayscale's Permutation. Vult celebrates 1,000th subscriber in its YouTube channel. With 3 new videos, he introduces us to his secret of virtual analog module creation. In addition, Vesec now has a fold parameter and Flame an additional mode. Also, there were in version 1.3.0 further small improvements. The My Little Tools series of Digital Happens modules have been updated in version 1.0.3 to the new text structure of Rack 1.1.4 and should now work again. Amalgamated Harmonics continues to maintain product improvements and is now at version 1.0.3. Count Modular offers from version 1.4.0 for all its modules 5 different color variants. Meanwhile, version 1.4.2 is downloadable via the plugin manager. MoDLZ has made further improvements to its modules and is now at version 1.1.6. The modules from Arable Instruments, Parable Instruments are now also available for Rack V1. Joni is the official firmware version of Mutable Instruments Clouds, in VCV Rack the texture synthesizer from Audible Instruments, and Smoke from South Pole. Neil is the Parasite firmware with the additional models Oliverb and Resonastor, and currently the only Parasite variant of the module, as the Smoke variant of South Pole Parasites is not yet available. Good Shepherd has extended its sequencer Stable 16 in version 1.0.1 with additional options. Valley Audio has announced Terraform, a polyphonic wavetable oscillator based on the operators of Dexter. Valley Audio's Dale Johnson presented VCV Rack at Synthfest UK, which took place on the 5th of October at the Octagon Centre in Sheffield, UK. Aridacity has removed a few bugs in version 1.0.1. Bedu continues to maintain strong product maintenance and is now at version 1.0.10. Submarine added a collections option to the wire manager in version 1.0.4. It is now possible to save and recall multiple color sets. Allright Devices has reworked the free VCV Rack versions of its commercial Eurorack modules and is now at version 1.0.2. The module MIDI Player Plus from SDS has the option for speed control since version 1.1.2. Chortling Hamster Modules has also made improvements to its modules and is now in version 1.1.1. Challenges and collaborations. Very Cool Patch Challenge. In edition 38 of the Very Cool Patch Challenge, all 3 oscillators from Mosquito Labs had to be used. The contributions are summarized in a playlist. In edition 39 of the Very Cool Patch Challenge, the module Rampage by Befaco had to be used. Again, the contributions were summarized in a playlist. Edition 40 of the Very Cool Patch Challenge featured the Rainbow module from Prism Amalgamated Harmonics. The contributions were summarized as always in a playlist. Edition 41 of the Very Cool Patch Challenge is once again something special. This time, the patch must not contain a delay or reverb. Submissions can be submitted by the 15th of October and will be summarized in a playlist. A new challenge starts the next day. Patch and Tweak VCV Rack patch files and giveaway. Patch and Tweak have now also released patches after the blank modules. These were created by Omri Cohn, and with the release there was a giveaway. 1 out of 3 Patch and Tweak books won Ananda Namaste, Dennis Tessier, and Aspen Stoller. The contributions of all participants were summarized in a playlist. Congratulations to the winners and many thanks to all participants and the initiators of the competition. Musical Pals. Since the fourth project, the musical chain letter Musical Pals now has a few rules that simplify the cooperation. Only use free modules. 1 voice or part per user. No limits on number of modules, effects and processing. You can also mute parts and take it in a different direction. Avoid external samples if you can. We want it as portable as possible. It would be nice if you add labels so others can get a rough overview over who did what. For example, with a Submarine TD202. Still, don't be afraid to change someone else's part. Add your name in the patch file name before uploading. Credit where credit is due. We'll keep it going for as long as we want. Hopefully, our computers can keep up. Important, do not use Lindenberg Research West Coast. According to Patrick Lindenberg from Lindenberg Research, the bug has been removed, so this shouldn't be a problem anymore. Videos and tutorials. Federico Soler Fernández, Day 21, A times B plus C, Befaco VCV Rack, and Day 22, Spring Reverb, Befaco VCV Rack. Day 23, Mixer, Befaco VCV Rack. Day 24, Slew Limiter, Befaco VCV Rack. Jim Aikin, Modular Synthesis for Beginners, Oscillators Part 1, Analog Waves. Leonardo Laguna Ruiz, Tutorial, Virtual Analog Modeling Basics the Vult Way, Part 1 to 3. Modular Curiosity, Marbles, A.K.A. the Random Sampler, and Build a Patch with Marbles. Modular Landing, Exploring Modular Thins, Beginner's Mind Episode 6, How to Use Envelopes with Filters and Amps. Omri Cohen, Mutable Instruments, Braids, Synthesis Model Series number 34. And using Arturia's Mini Brute 2S with VCV Rack. And how to record VCV Rack in Reaper using Reroute. And patch and tweak VCV Rack patch files and giveaway. And let's build a Moog DFAM in VCV Rack. And comparing quantizers in VCV Rack. And make noise mimeophone and VCV Rack patch from scratch part 1. And beginner's patches 4, second voice and delay. And polyphony in VCV host. And let's build a make noise O-coast in VCV Rack. And Mutable Instruments Braids Synthesis Model Series number 35. And patch and tweak in VCV Rack 1 to 5. And Mutable Instruments Plates VCV Rack tutorial. And VCV Chords VCV Rack livestream. Simon Bader, VCV Chords Milieu by Simon Bader. VCV Rack ideas. 15 sounds of Mutable Instruments Tides Sheep in VCV Rack. And Prism Rainbow Spectral Multiband Resonator in VCV Rack tutorial. And VCV Rack Generative IDM Patch tutorial. And Mi-Rack iOS port of VCV Rack Techno Patch demo and review. And free chord controller for VCV Rack tutorial. And synthesis with BBD delay in VCV Rack Aura Flux. And making techno patch from scratch with a new JW Patterns module. And using mutable marbles with Mr. Chainkov VCV Rack tutorial. Waves Unlimited, News of the Rack Monthly 8 2019. If I missed someone, I'm sorry. Please give me a hint. These were the news of the rack for the month of September 2019, and please do not forget the important links below the video. A new newspaper issue will be released every Monday and a new video at the beginning of the next month. And not to forget, many thanks to Andrew Belt and all the module developers, without whom all this would not be possible. That's it from me. Let it go well and many creative moments. Servus.